Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to rewrite a sentence in English by using the passive voice. I will show you some techniques that we have to take care of and some examples so that I don't have to take care of the tense of the sentence, whether it is with the continuous tense, past or present participle tense, simple, with some modal auxiliaries. I don't have to take care of this point because I have just to take care of the techniques that I will show you now. Now, at the beginning, I have to take care of 3 points once I have to rewrite a sentence in the passive voice. I have to take care of the object. I have just to ask myself if this object is singular or plural, because this will determine the auxiliary that I will use, whether it's singular or plural. Then I have to check what auxiliaries I have in my sentence, in my original sentence. So if there are some available auxiliaries, I will use all of them and something else beside. And if they are not available, I mean by if the sentence is with the simple tense, so that no auxiliary is used, so I will go through the be auxiliary, like is, was, are, were, and am. Then I have to take care of the third form of the verbs. I have to memorize all regular and irregular forms of the verbs, because this is the point that I have to reach once I rewrite a sentence by using the passive voice. For example, go, went, gone. Gone is the third form of the verb. And for the regular verbs, we have just to add ed, like when we say look, locked, locked. Okay, anyhow, we will explain these examples, but before that, I will go through an example just to show you the technique. For instance, if I have to say he is studying English. This is a very simple sentence. I don't have to take care of the its tense. I don't have to ask myself if it is continuous or participle or something like that. First, I have just to determine where is the subject, where is the object, and where is the verb. This is so important. This sentence is so simple, so I can do this job easily. But sometimes it will help me if the sentence is complex or if it consists of more than 10 or 20 words. Anyhow, so first I have to say that this is the subject, this is the verb, and I have to determine the whole verb with all its components, and this is the object. Okay, then I have to omit the subject just for some seconds, because I will reuse this subject like PP. What I mean by PP is a phrase. Then I have to go with the object, and I have to put the object here in the position of the subject. I mean in the new sentence. So first I have to say English. Okay, then I have to think about the verb. Here in the verb, I have to go through the infinitive form of the verb. So if I go through these auxiliaries, I can say that I have is, I have to get a benefit from here. I have ing, I have to get a benefit from here. And then I have study, I have to go through the third form, which is studied. Study is a regular verb in which the past form and the past participle form ends with the ed. Anyhow, let's go now to the passive voice. So first I have to go through the object. I put it in the position of the subject, which is English. Okay, then I have to ask myself, English is a singular or plural word? It is a singular, so I have to determine that the whole auxiliaries must be with the singular form. Okay, first I have to go through the is. It will be put here. Is suitable here? the answer is yes. So English is. Then I have to get a benefit from this ing and say instead of ing, I will use being. Then I have to come up with the third form, which is studied. Okay, so I get a benefit from is, then the ing, then I have nothing but the verb, which is the third form, studied. So English is being studied. Okay, now there is an optional step if you want to add it, which is to reuse the subject by using by. Okay, so by. And of course, I can't use the pronoun, the subject pronoun after by, but I can use the object pronoun, which is him. If you want to omit this step, there is no problem. Okay, let's go ahead with another sentence just to show you the technique. For instance, he shall share a photo. Okay, again, this is the subject, this is the verb, this is a modal auxiliary, and this is the object. Okay, first I have to omit this one for a while, and I have to go through the object. I have to put it here at the beginning of my new sentence, of course, by using capital letter A, photo. Okay, I have now to see the verb. For the verb, I just have modal auxiliary, which is shall, and I have nothing else. Okay, how can I reach the third form of share, which is shared? Okay, so first, shall. Is it suitable to be used here with the singular word? The answer is yes. So a photo, shall. Okay, how can I reach shared now? Simply, after the modal auxiliary, I have to use infinitive form. And after this infinitive form, I can use the third form of a verb. So simply, I will say, shall be shared. Okay. And the optional step by the end, which is by him. Okay. Just another example. Suppose that I have something like this one. The students will have signed a contract. Okay, first I have to determine where is the subject. This is the subject that I have. And the idea by omitting this subject is not to think about if it is singular or plural. I don't have to take care of this point because I will just take care of the object. So this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object, which is contract. Okay, now first I have to come up with the object here at the beginning of my new sentence, which is a contract. Okay, this contract is singular. But again, here I don't have any auxiliary to be determined as singular or plural because the modal auxiliaries are suitable to be worked with singular or plural. Anyhow, here I have will, and I have, and then I have this ed. This ed shows me that this is the third form of a verb. Okay, then I have the sign. I have to use all of these options here. So first I have to go through the will. It will be coming here, will, because it's suitable with the contract. Have will again come here, have. And for this one, how to get rid of it by using the word been. So will, have, been, and by the end I have to come up with the third form of the verb, which is signed. Okay, the question here is that why I have to come up with been here. Okay, if I keep the verb as is and I say a contract will have signed, it will not be different from the original sentence. I have here to come up with the passive voice. The idea of the passive voice is that the subject is unknown or it is unwritten. So what is the difference between this sentence and that sentence if I keep the form of the verb as is? So because of that, I have to come up with been. So a contract will have been signed, and the optional step, which is by the students. Okay, so this is the technique of having the passive voice. Now let's go ahead with the examples that I have. She drinks tea, she drank tea. Now, these two sentences are with the simple tense. The first is with the present simple and the second is with the past simple. Then I have she is drinking tea, she was drinking tea. These two sentences are with the continuous tense. And she has drunk tea, she had drunk tea. This is with the participle tense. The first is with the present participle and the past participle, the second is. And then I used a modal auxiliary, which is will, then I have would. Then here I combine the modal auxiliary with the present participle. Okay, now let's go ahead with these examples. Now this one has no auxiliaries, so how to deal with it? She drinks tea, she drank tea. Let's go ahead. Okay, so she drinks tea. Okay, if I check this sentence, I have no auxiliaries here. So the first step again is to determine the components, subject, verb, and object. Okay, I have to omit the subject. I have to go through the object at the beginning with the capital letter. So T. Here I have no auxiliaries. So how to deal with this case? I have to deal with it by using one of these auxiliaries, the be family. So I have to use is, was, are, were, or am. It depends on the sentence that I have. Okay, now how to determine which option to be used? Okay, so first I have to go through these ones. Is, was, are, were, and am, with was or were. Okay. First, I have to determine, shall I use the present or the past form of the be auxiliary? This will be determined by the tense of this verb. So, drinks, is it a present or past? It is a present. So, the options must be with these three ones. It will be used with is or are or am. So no, was, or were in this example. Okay, then I have to go through the object. Is it singular or plural? The answer is this is a singular. So I have to say T is. Okay, it is not are, it is not am. So simply I will say T is, and the third form of a drink is a drunk. That's all. Of course, as an optional step, you can add by here. This preposition is used after by. Okay, so T is a drunk by here. Okay, if the sentence is with the past, so we have she drank tea. Okay, of course, I have to go through the past form of these auxiliaries, which is either was or were, which is suitable for my here, which is suitable for my sentence is that the the was, because T is singular and it is the past, so I have to go through the was. So T was drunk by her. Now let's continue with the examples that we have. We have, for instance, she's drinking tea, she was drinking tea, okay? So for instance, when we say she is drinking tea. Again, I have to determine the components of the sentence. So this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. I have to omit the subject for a while and go through the object, which is tea. I have to get a benefit from this, which is is, and the ing being, and the third form of a drink is drunk. And an optional step, which is the by here. Okay, now I have to come up with another example just to show you how to deal with the plural object. So for instance, the girl is drinking tea and milk. Okay, first I have to determine that this is the subject, this is the verb, and tea and milk is the object. Okay, so I have to omit this subject for a while and I have to go through the object, which is tea and milk. As you see, that tea and milk is a plural word or a plural component. So I have to deal with it based on this point. Okay, I have here is, and I have here ing, and I have a plural subject or plural new word here. Okay, now instead of is, I have to go through something which is in parallel with is. Okay, but it is suitable with a plural. So instead of is, of course, I can't say tea and milk is. And instead of that, I have to use are because this is a plural one. So tea and milk are, and the ing will be replaced by being and drunk. So the idea here is that I have to take care if the new subject or the original object is put here is plural or singular. I'll come with another example. Like for instance, the babies are playing, for instance, football. Okay. So the babies here is the subject and it's plural. I don't have to take care of this one. The verb is are playing and football is the object. I have to come up with the object first here, football. Then I have to take care of this verb. Okay, I have are and I have an ing. For the are, it is not suitable to be put with the football, so I have to come up with a parallel subject that is suitable with football, which is a singular. Is, and then we have being, and the third form of the play is played. Okay. Then, for instance, if I have a sentence with auxiliaries, for the auxiliaries, there is no change with if the subject or if the word preceding is singular or plural. Like when I say, for example, the chef will cook some dishes. Okay, so the chef is the subject and here it is the verb and here is the object. The subject here, as you see, it's a singular. I don't have to take care of this one. Okay. So no need. And then I have to go through the object at the beginning, which is some dishes. Now for some dishes here, it is a plural. I have to check the auxiliaries that I have. I have a modal auxiliary, and for the modal auxiliary, there is no change with its shape if this subject is singular or plural, so it will be coming here. So some dishes will And for the cook, to reach the third form, I have to come up with be. Will be cooked. And of course, as an optional step, I have to add by the chef. So this is the passive voice sentence. That is all for today. Thank you for your listening.